How does the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, or MBTI, describe a person? There are four main categories that it uses to describe personality. These are extroversion versus introversion, intuition versus sensing, thinking versus feeling, and judging versus perceiving. Let's have a look at these one by one.
Firstly, in terms of extroversion versus introversion, the MBTI theory proposes that people are energized by different things.
Extroverts are energized by other people, whereas introverts are energized by being alone.
Now, this isn't to say that extroverts like being alone all the time. They can be around other people and enjoy it. It just doesn't recharge them. Whereas introverts don't necessarily dislike being around people, but after spending a lot of time with people, they may become tired and want to spend some time alone to recharge. Some people may think that introverts are socially awkward and aloof, and this is true for some introverts, but not all of them. Likewise, some people may think that extroverts are too loud and obnoxious, and this is true for some extroverts, but not all of them. So while there are certainly stereotypes about introverts and extroverts, it's important to keep in mind that these are just stereotypes, and not everyone who is an introvert will fit these stereotypes, and likewise for extroverts. Now, there's something that I need to point out here because a lot of people get confused about this. The MBTI theory suggests that extroverts are energized by people and introverts are energized by being alone. However, Jungian psychology, which the MBTI is based on, makes a distinction between what we call being social and being alone. Jung proposed that there were two types of introverts: those who are energized by being alone and those who are energized by working with ideas and thinking. He called these two types of introverts introverted and intuitive introverts. So in terms of the MBTI, we have four types instead of two. We have EI, the extroverted intuitive, EN, the extroverted sensing, EN. The introverted intuitive and I's the introverted sensing. If you want to learn more about the differences between these four types, I recommend checking out another video where these types are explored in more depth. Anyway, moving on to the next dichotomy. The next dichotomy is intuition versus sensing. This dichotomy refers to how people perceive the world around them. Some people focus more on the concrete facts and details of the world, while others focus more on abstract possibilities and meanings. People who focus more on the facts and details are called sensors, and people who focus more on abstract possibilities and meanings are called intuitives. Again, we can see stereotypes about these types. Sensors are seen as being more practical and down to earth, whereas intuitives are seen as being more dreamy and impractical. But again, this isn't true of everyone who is a sensor or intuitive. The next dichotomy is thinking versus feeling. This dichotomy refers to how people make decisions. Do they use logic and reason, or do they use emotions and values? People who make decisions primarily using logic and reason are called thinkers. People who make decisions primarily using emotions and values are called feelers. This dichotomy is often misunderstood. Many people believe that thinkers don't care about other people's feelings, whereas feelers are overly emotional and can't think logically. But this isn't what the MBTI theory is proposing here. Rather, it's suggesting that thinkers use logic and reason to make decisions, whereas feelers use their emotions and values to make decisions. Thinkers aren't necessarily uncaring or insensitive. They just value logic and reason when making decisions. Similarly, feelers aren't necessarily overly emotional or irrational. They just value emotions and values when making decisions. The final dichotomy is judging versus perceiving. This dichotomy refers to how people view the world. Do they view it as orderly and structured, or do they view it as flexible and spontaneous? People who prefer order and structure are called judgers. People who prefer flexibility and spontaneity are called perceivers. Again, we can see stereotypes here. Judgers are seen as being more organized and disciplined, whereas perceivers are seen as being more relaxed and easygoing. But again, this isn't true of everyone who is a judger or perceiver. These four dichotomies are combined to form 16 different personality types. Each type is designated a four-letter code. The first letter represents your position on the extroversion versus introversion scale. E stands for extrovert and I stands for introvert. The second letter represents your position on the intuition versus sensing scale. N stands for intuitive, and S stands for sensing. The third letter represents your position on the thinking versus feeling scale. T stands for thinking, and F stands for feeling. The fourth letter represents your position on the judging versus perceiving scale. J stands for judging, and P stands for perceiving. Now, before we move on, I need to emphasize that the MBTI is a theory that describes how people think and behave. It's not a test that measures anything. There are many criticisms of the MBTI. One of the most common criticisms is that it's not reliable or consistent. This means that if you took the MBTI test today and then took it again tomorrow, you might get a different result the second time around. Another criticism is that the MBTI is too simplistic. It reduces people to 16 types, which is far from capturing the complexity of human personality. A third criticism is that the MBTI is based on gender stereotypes. For example, the stereotype that women are more emotional than men. So with these criticisms in mind, what can we actually use the MBTI for? Well, for starters, it can be a useful tool for self-reflection. By learning about the different personality types, you can learn more about yourself and how you interact with the world. It can also be a useful tool for personal growth. By understanding your strengths and weaknesses, you can work on developing the areas that need improvement. Additionally, the MBTI can be used as a team-building tool. By understanding the different personality types on your team, you can learn how to work more effectively together. Finally, the MBTI can be used as a conversation starter. It's a fun and interesting topic that can lead to some great discussions. Let us now look at each of the 16 types and explore some of the strengths and weaknesses of each type. Starting off with the 16 types in no particular order, we have the ISTP, the ESTP, the ISFJ, ESFJ, the ISTJ, the ESTJ, the INFJ, the ENFJ, the INFP, the ANFP, the INFP, the ENTP, the ENTP, the ISFP, the ESFP, the IFP, and the ENFP. Starting off with the ISTP. They are known for being practical, logical, and good problem solvers. However, they can also be stubborn, cynical, and uncooperative. The ESTP is similar to the ISTP, but tends to be more outgoing and action-oriented. They are known for being energetic, enthusiastic, and good at managing change. However, they can also be impatient, reckless, and insensitive.
ISIS.
The ISFJ is known for being warm, protective, and good listeners. However, they can also be inflexible, overprotective, and conflict avoidant. The ESFJ is similar to the ISFJ, but tends to be more outgoing and people-focused. They are known for being caring, generous, and good at organizing people. However, they can also be critical, judgmental, and manipulative. The ISTJ is known for being responsible, dutiful, and good at following through on tasks. However, they can also be rigid, intolerant, and over-controlling. The ESTJ is similar to the ISTJ, but tends to be more outgoing and direct. They are known for being decisive, efficient, and good at leading people. However, they can also be domineering, inflexible, and insensitive. The NFJ is known for being insightful, imaginative, and good at understanding people. However, they can also be unrealistic, oversensitive, and secretive. The ENFJ is similar to the INFJ, but tends to be more outgoing and focused on helping others. They are known for being inspiring, compassionate, and good at bringing out the best in people. However, they can also be possessive, smothering, and critical. The INFP is known for being creative, passionate, and good at finding meaning in things. However, they can also be naive, overly idealistic, and avoidant. The ANFP is similar to the INFP, but tends to be more outgoing and focused on helping others. They are known for being enthusiastic, inspiring, and good at getting people excited about things. However, they can also be scattered, superficial, and easily bored. The INTP is known for being analytical, original, and good at solving complex problems. However, they can also be cold, uncooperative, and inflexible. The ENTP is similar to the INTP, but tends to be more outgoing and argumentative. They are known for being witty, independent, and good at challenging the status quo. However, they can also be controversial, critical, and unfocused. The ISFP is known for being artistic, spontaneous, and good at seeing the beauty in things. However, They can also be irresponsible, inconsistent, and overly critical. The ESFP is similar to the ISFP, but tends to be more outgoing and fun-loving. They are known for being warm, expressive, and good at making people feel seen. However, they can also be disorganized, frivolous, and people-pleasing. The IFP is known for being flexible, accepting, and good at going with the flow. However, they can also be flaky, inconsistent, and overly permissive. The ENFP is similar to the IFP, but tends to be more outgoing and focused on helping others. They are known for being enthusiastic, optimistic, and good at helping people see the possibilities in things. However, they can also be unrealistic, unfocused, and easily bored. So what do you think of the MBTI? You think it's a useful tool, or is it just a bunch of new age mumbo-jumbo? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching.